Harper is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding this hearing on a very important issue. And certainly some agencies can be dysfunctional and there's no concern or no real harm in that, but the CDC is one that cannot be dysfunctional. So we're very concerned about safety within the labs for obviously the workers there and certainly for the public on how we're going to address that. And if I could, Dr. Frieden, get you to refer to tab 7. That's a letter that you sent in September 2012 to the committee responding to concerns about CDC lab safety. In that, you stated that a senior official was designated to report directly to you about safety issues and those things there. Who was that senior official?
I will have to get back to you about that to get you the name and the details of what was done in pursuant to that letter. Okay, then obviously the question would be, and I would hope you could have answered today, was who was that senior official and what were the results of that action? And then the question that perhaps you can answer now is how is the appointment of Dr. Michael Bell as the new CDC point person on lab safety when we don't even know who the old point person was? How is that going to be more effective other than we know his name? What I believe to be the case is that what we did in 2012, similar to what we did in other incidents, was we did address comprehensively the specific problems that were identified. So there were concerns about some airflow issues, there were concerns about some of the security issues in our laboratories, and while I would never say that we're 100% resolved on those things, we really focused on those particular problems. What we missed was the broader pattern. So that's what Dr. Bell is overseeing now. So does this mean that Dr. Bell will now continue until that there will always be a point person? Is that what your plan? Yes, Dr. Bell is the person now. Transition that to a single point of accountability for lab safety, and one of the things that Dr. Bell and his group will do is to recommend where that entity should sit within CDC to be most effective. Dr. Dick, the CDC reported that since 2007 there have been 2 surprise inspections of CDC, both performed by CDC's Division of Select Agents and Toxins before APHIS took over inspections of CDC labs. Since 2012, I'm showing that APHIS has conducted 11 inspections of CDC labs. I'd like to know, why hasn't APHIS conducted any surprise inspections of CDC labs, or have they done that?
Thank you for the question. We conduct surprise inspections to enforce compliance between renewal inspections, which is every 3 years. As we stated, we came on in late 2012 as the oversight entity for CDC. At Royable Lab, we actually have been there 7, if you include this last incident time, in that year and a half. So we have not had an opportunity to do a surprise inspection since we're there regularly.
So the last time a surprise inspection was done was when?
We have not done a surprise inspection prior to taking over in 2012. I'm not familiar with before that.
And obviously I won't ruin the surprise by asking when one is planned, but it does seem like
we intend to follow up on.
That's a great tool to have.
Absolutely, and certainly first and foremost, we're going to be following up on the current incident with them and making a revisit when CDC indicates that they're ready for us to revisit, and then we'll be doing surprise inspections after that point.
Let's say that, and this is for you, Dr. Frieden, or for you, Dr. Dick, if it's determined that a dangerous biological agent has been stolen, who do you report that to?
So we have a protocol for dealing with theft. There has been no theft of a biological agent reported from either CDC or any of the regulated facilities in the 10 years of the program, to my knowledge. When there are concerns for potential theft or misplacement, we work with law enforcement, including the FBI, to do a joint investigation. I would just mention that our expansion of surprise inspections was something that we directed over the last few years at CDC because we felt that was very important to do.
So you said there have been no reports of stolen agents?
That's my understanding.
But what about missing biological agents?
There have been losses at certain facilities, and in those circumstances, we also coordinate with the FBI. Usually, it's an issue of inventory control. So as earlier we were talking about critical control points, such as inactivation of virulent pathogens, similarly, inventory is a critical control point.
Yield back.